Looks like Arizona belongs to Katie Hobbs. And everybody, whenever you lose an election, everyone picks the person they like the least and they blame them for it. Either you're blaming fraud or Mitch McConnell or Donald Trump, or you blame the candidate too far right, too far left. You look at this stuff fairly dispassionately, which I love and I don't always do. Why do we lose Arizona?
Well, it's interesting. There were 8 elections in Arizona, 9 candidates, because one of the races had 2 winners. Like they ran the top 2 and the top 2 won. And Republicans won 5 of those races and lost 4 of them. The people who all lost or are losing as of right now, maybe one will win, were big people who said that the 2020 election was stolen, and the 5 who won did not mention it. And whether you believe it was stolen or you don't believe it was stolen, it's time to move on. It's exhausting. It's an exhausting thing. It turns off college-educated voters. It turns off people who are moderate. It turns off people who dislike Joe Biden. But Yee won. Tom Horn won. Tom Horn is not being mentioned very often in the media right now. He beat the incumbent Democrat for state superintendent of education. He ran on opposing critical race theory, opposing DEI, stopping bilingual education in Arizona, and ending cultural ethnic studies programs. And he won. You can win as a fire-breathing Republican. You just can't sit there and exhaust and give anxiety that we're going to have another 4 more years of debating ballots from 2 years ago. And I really think that negatively affected Kari Lake and Blake Masters and Finchman and Abe, whatever his last name is, may win the Attorney General's race. It's very, very narrow, but it shouldn't be. But you can run as a conservative, and you can win. You can win Maricopa County. We won the state DA's race in Maricopa County. Republicans did. We just didn't focus on the 2020 election anymore. It's time to move on. It is so toxic to voters.
Okay, so...
And I know you might not like that answer.
No, I asked for a dispassionate answer, and I agree with you. I believe actually 2 things can be true at once, that we have a long way to go to secure voter integrity in this country, while at the same time we cannot campaign on the issue. I don't see why those things are conflicting. I care about a voter ID. I care about making sure every vote gets counted. But if you're out there running for it as governor, senator, president, I think you are you're a loser, and you're on a losing issue.
Right, and here's the thing that I get so annoyed about is that if it was a conspiracy that they stole the election, why did they give the most right-wing person on the ballot against CRT a win? It's not about stealing the election. It's about exhausting and alienating these very moderate voters who are with us on crime. They're with us in immigration. They're with us in so many things. But running people who want to relitigate 2020 or want to talk about abortion, sometimes in the most extreme manners, pushes them towards Democrats when they're not there to begin with. There is a real showing that Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott and Lee Zeldin ran very effective, and Mike DeWine ran very effective campaigns. And you could say some of them are more moderate Republicans, and that's absolutely fine. But they won by gigantic margins. Zeldin didn't win by gigantic margin. He lost, but he got 47% and he won the House. So that is what the important thing is, to sit there and move the needle every which way you can. And, spending your day, what exhausts me, what frustrates me about Kari Lake, and I called her campaign and told her this over and over and over again, stop attacking John McCain. There have been a lot of bad Republicans in the history of bad Americans, bad politicians. Ted Kennedy destroyed this country in so many horrendous ways. No one runs against Ted Kennedy anymore because he's dead. John McCain is dead. Let it rest and move on. What's the future, not the past? That should have been the message, and I think that was very telling and that hurt her down ballot in a lot of ways. So I think going forward, let's talk about what we're going to do for the country. What are we going to do on education? What are we going to do on quality of life issues like crime, like our roads, like our infrastructure, like jobs? This is what voters wanted to hear in this election, not get caught up in insane minutia about the past.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, The Forgotten Genocide, the first episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.